Okay, so in the last video, I showed you guys how basically to start up your test using Jest. That rhymes. So let me let me just let me run this. This is where we left off from the last video when we were doing testing. So let me run it. npm. Let me see which directory am I. All right, perfect. npm run test, and I walked you through how to install Jest and Puppeteer, and I explained what they do. This is Chromium instance right here. The first test, the second test. This is just all one test suite that I'm doing. And this is the header test suite. I'm testing all the buttons and the logo on the header. If this is your first time watching this video, uh, go to my previous videos to see how I wrote this code. As you can see, it says my test fails. I don't know why. 2 passed, 2 failed. Let's see why. It says my browser has disconnected. That's strange. My browser is clearly connected. Let me disconnect my server, my local server, and run it again in the dev environment. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's do it again. Let's hope it's not my slow internet. One, two, three, four. Okay, we passed all 4 tests. Woohoo! Alright, so the last test was simply clicking this and you got all the Google accounts that has logged in from here. Now, the test I want to show you is how to use Chromium, how to use a virtual browser, basically, an instance of Chromium to log me in. And once I'm logged in, I forgot my password for this. Let's see. Okay, once I'm logged in, you see that the nav bar changes. So that's the goal, to notice that the nav bar changes once we log in. Now, doing this is fairly simple if your goal is to just run your test locally. What happened is that I ran into a little issue when I tried to push my test to a CI server. If those of you who don't know what a CI server is, it's continuous integration. I'm going to explain that in upcoming videos. And the problem with that was that Google wasn't allowing it, because what happened was that I think anyway, that the Chromium instance was hammering the Oauth service, and it basically blocked it. So after doing some thorough research on how to bypass this, the best solution I came up with is basically that can work for all type of OAuth flow. Either it's Google or it's local service or it's Facebook and etc. Is to create a fake login by faking a session ID. And that was the best one I can come up with. So I'm going to take you through the steps of how I did this. So the first question that I asked myself is, how does my server know it's me when I log in the future? And the simple and obvious answer is your cookie session, obviously. Let's see that. So right now I'm currently logged out. Let's inspect. You're going to see some warnings. Don't worry about them. I'm going to clear them out. Let's go to the network. There's nothing here. Make it a little bigger. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the current user right now. Notice, so this cookie session, not this one specifically, but your cookie session and your session.sig. Cookie session, by the way, is a base64 string, which can be converted to a UTF-8, and this cookie session is basically what is how my server knows it's me when I log in later in the future. What happens is that my server takes this code, sends it to Google. Google says, "Oh, okay, I recognize this code," and then sends information back about the specific user. And I'm going to show you how I basically went through this process. And so I'm going to copy this real quick. So I'm still not logged in. I'm taking my cookie session. So this is an app that I made for a school. Simplify Hallway Pass. It's in production. You can view this site again if you simply go to www.wisping.com. You can view it. Let me log out. As you can see, I use React to make it. Here's my little icon. I use React for the front end. I use React and Redux, mostly for the forms. Backend is all Node, database is Mongo. Let's see. So where was I? Okay, perfect. So let's see. I'll clear this. Go on Node. So I'm going to set this base64 string. Let's say const session. Now there's a package that I downloaded. This package is called Buffer. I actually didn't download it. I was doing my research and I saw that Buffer actually comes with one of my earlier packages that I downloaded during this project. And I'm going to show you how this works. Again, these are things that I found on Google. Now I'm going to convert this base64 string in buffer that I just made dot from session to string UTF-8. Bada boom. So I basically try to see what information that I'm getting when I convert this base64 into an object, because this is what the cookie session takes. Cookie session takes the information as an object, and no, it takes the information and it passes it and saves that and saves the information into rec.session, and then rec.session takes that information and sends it over to Passport. Then Passport then looks it up, then looks up the user ID in Mongo and see if there is a match. If there is a match, you're in. If there is no match, you're not in, basically. But as you can see, there's nothing here. So when Passport gets this, it's not going to search anything because there is no user. And the reason is that I am logged out, obviously. So let's see what happens when I'm logged in. I'm going to use my bot account. I created a fake email that I use to do like dev apps. And as this Google email is not associated with any of my personal information, so it's fine. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to take this base64 string. I'm going to create a new one, session 2. It's call that. And I'm gonna change this and see what information I get. Bada boom, beautiful. So this is my user ID. This is the ID that is stored in Mongo. So what happens is when I log in, cookie sessions takes this information and passes it, and then it stores it as rec.session equals blah blah blah, and then that is sent over to Passport, and then Passport takes this ID, Passport user this ID right here, and then checks it up on inside your database. If this ID is inside your database, you gain access. If it's not, you do not get access. So we can confirm that this ID is technically in my database. Let's see, F5C5, and it ends with 770. Let's go to my MLab. Do I have it open? Yes, I do. So here is my dev app that I made, and as you can see right here, let me make the screen bigger so you can see. Here is it. 5C5 770. Beautiful. Again, this was just a bot account that I made just to test this. 5C5 770. And here we go. So in my next video, I'm going to show you the next steps into 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 testing this Google Oauth flow using basically by faking your login process. Thank you.